In this video, I want to show you how to create two web pages and upload them to the ASU web server. We are on the second week of Module 4, and I want to start with the instructions for Homework 6, and that's the assignment where you will actually create two web pages in Dreamweaver and link them to one another, and then upload them to the server. For Homework 6, formatting text on a web page, to create an index page which you will name index.html. Then you will add text to the web page and do some basic formatting with appropriate tags. You can add some web colors to the text in Dreamweaver, add hyperlinks within the web page, and then link two web pages to each other, and then connect your Dreamweaver site with the two web pages to your ASU web host. So the first thing you're going to do is create that index page, name it index.html, and you're going to do some basic text formatting, and you can always go back and reformat it later. So if you click here, you will see a sample page from a student from a previous semester. So there's some basic text and formatting. What you will have by the end of this assignment is your text introduction plus a link to a text formatting page. You will add these other linked pages later on in the semester. So you're going to create a text formatting example page linked to your index.html page. If you look at the URL address up at the top of your browser, it's going to have appstate.edu/ that tilde mark and then your username. And then followed by that, it's going to automatically look for your index.html page. So you don't even have to type in index.html. Actually, I'm going to go to my page here. So if you see my page, appstate.edu, Bishop KC is my username, and then if I were to type in after that index.html, oops, and I see I've got to add that / after my username. Then it's going to bring up the same index page. So you don't even have to type in index.html because that's your home page, and the server will automatically look for index.html as your home page. So you want to make sure that you name your home page index.html. After you add all of your text and hyperlinks, let's just take a look at the rubric before we begin the assignment. You want to make sure that you complete free code camp and submit that with your URL address in the submission area. I am in Dreamweaver now, and I have my index.html page already created, and I'm going to show you the directory, the root directory of where that is hosted on my desktop. If you look at the site under Manage Sites, I have named this as my portfolio. You can name it GCM3512, and you're going to create a new site based off of that. So if I click on this is my site name, and then the local site folder here, I have selected it. It's on my desktop, and it is in a folder called WIP, and then there is a folder nested inside that folder called Portfolio. So if I were to click on this folder, I could browse to look for the folder that is hosting my site. So here's my desktop, the WIP folder, and then the Portfolio folder, and my index.html page is inside that folder. If I were to create a new site, I could just click on New Site and give it a site name, and I could call that GCM3512, and then make sure you select the correct folder where you have it on your desktop or storage device. Let's go back to the desktop and take a look at that. So here's my WIP folder, and then here's my portfolio folder, and then I have a lot of other folders that are nested within that. So I have multiple sites nested within this root folder that is uploaded to the ASU server. To simplify it, you would just start off with a folder that may be called GCM3512, and you're going to create an index.html page and a text.html page. Let me create a new folder so you can see what that will look like. I'm going to call it new, or actually let's call it GCM3512 Fall 21, and then I'm going to go back. So I'm back in Dreamweaver, and I'm going to go ahead and close these pages and create a new site. So I'm going to select Manage Sites and then select New Site, and I'm going to name it, and browse to the new folder that I created called GCM3512 Fall 21. So now in this new site that I have created, you'll see in my Files panel there are no pages inside that folder yet. So I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to select Create New, HTML, Framework None, and I'm going to create. So let's look at the tags here. I'm in split view. There's the heading tag. Anything in the head tags, that is not going to show up on the browser. So I could call this document GCM 3512, and that would just be the title that will show up on the tab of the browser, but not on the web page itself. Anything within the body tags is what's going to show up on the browser. On the web page. So then I could start typing in, and I'm going to type directly in, and I'm going to switch to Design View onto my visual editor. So I can type in a title, GCM 3512. So in my Properties panel, I can select HTML and go under to Format and select Heading 1. You only you can only select one Heading 1 on your page because you only have one heading or title. Then I can type in my name, and then I will include a text introduction. So for my name, I'm going to select Heading 2, and then the introduction, Heading 3. And then I will include some introduction here. Then I'm going to type in a link for my text formatting page. This is going to be hyperlinked to another web page. Let me go ahead and save this for now. I'm going to go to Save As and save it as index.html. So don't forget, you have to name your home page for your site index.html. I'm going to save it in my root folder. Then I'm going to create another page, File, New, and do the same thing. Select New Document, HTML, None, Create. The doc type is HTML5, and then this is going to be my text formatting page. So I'm going to give this title the tag of Heading 1, and you can see in the code view now it has added the H1 tags in the body text. And then for the title, I can call this text formatting, and I can add some text formatting here. After I add all my text formatting, I want to go and make sure I'm linking it back to the index page. So then I can select this text, and now you can see in my root folder in the Files panel I have the index page, but I haven't saved my text page. So let me go ahead and save that as text.html in my root folder, and now that's showing up in my Files panel inside my root folder. So I have an index page and a text page. I have two HTML pages. So now I can link this back to index text and I'm going to use my Properties panel and point to the index page. So now this text is linked to my index.html page, and if I go back to my index page, I can link this text formatting text to the text.html page. And now you can see it's added the hyperlink code in the code view on both pages. And I could go ahead and save these just by doing Command S, and then I would continue to add text to both of these pages. I'm going to go ahead and close these and switch over to my completed pages. That's inside my other root folder. So let me open up my index page and my text formatting page. So after you have added your text on those two pages, it'll look something like this, although you will not have the portfolio, professional site, and responsive site or the image map page at this point. So right now, your page will look something like this, where you will have a title, you'll have your name, an introduction about yourself, and then a link to the text formatting and hyperlinks page. So then if I go to my text formatting page, you will have text that you are going to do some formatting to, and it will look something like this. So if I want to right align this text, for example, I would go to my Properties panel and select CSS and then select Right Align. And I'm going to switch to Live View, and now I can see the alignment. You can also select bold if you go to the HTML property or italic. You can also select your text and click on Page Properties and select text color. You have different formatting options here. You can also select from font stacks, in which it will begin with the first font, and if that font is not available on the web browser, it's going to go down the stack and look for the next available font. When you're choosing the font color, you can input the hex code for the web color, or you can choose a web color in the color picker. You can also select a bulleted list in the HTML properties and select the bullet points for an unordered list, or you can also select text for a numbered or ordered list, and you will see those items appear in your code pane for the unordered list and ordered list. You can also select font sizes using the CSS properties menu. You can select size and select a specific point size or a size using extra small, extra small, medium, large, so on and so forth. Your heading sizes, remember just to choose one heading 1 or 1H1 size for your heading. And then you can also create your hyperlinks by selecting the text that you want to hyperlink. If you are hyperlinking it to an absolute link to another outside website URL, you want to select HTML, and then you can type in the complete URL address, or you can copy and paste it from the top of the browser. So make sure that you include the entire URL with the http://. You can also select the way you want the hyperlink to open. So for the App State University website, I've selected a target of blank so that it will open it in a new window. And you can also add a link to open it up in an email application. And so if you do that, under the link, you want to include mail to : and then the email address and note with no spaces. You can also use the insert panel and select email link. And then you'll see the hyperlink show up in the code view. So the advantage of Dreamweaver here is that you don't have to know all of the code, although it helps to know some code. Dreamweaver will input the code for you in the code view when you select or link it using properties or your insert panel. You can also create a hyperlink to the top of the page, and that works well if you have a lot of text you have to scroll down to, so that will take you to the top, back to the top of the page. So if you are going to link it to the top of the page, you want to use the link, the hashtag top, next to the link in the properties in the HTML properties menu. And then you can link it back to the index page, and this would be a relative link. So you don't need that complete URL with the https:// because you're just going to link it to another page in your root directory. And in this case, it's to the index.html page. You can also hyperlink an image. You can select the text you want to link it to, and then use your Browse To folder to look for that image. In this case, if I look at the directory in the link menu here, the JPEG image is nested inside an images folder. So you may want to create an images folder in your root folder and place your image in there, or you can just place it directly into your root folder. So here I have an images folder, and then that bicycle image is inside. And then finally, I've got another link back to the index page. And this is actually a different index page than my index.html page. I created a new index page that I named portfolio index.html. And that is also inside my root folder. So then after it's all done formatting, I can check it in live view, and I can also preview it on the browser. So here I can see this is linked to my index.html page, but this hyperlink is linked to a new index page called portfolio index.html. So once you've saved both of these pages, make sure that they are both in the same root folder, and then you can upload them to the ASU server, and I'll show you how to do that in the next video.